So for the communication of two different components, even if we saw in our earlier session, we have created a component and then we worked throughout the session in that component. Now what we are going to do is we are going to create some couple of more components, and we can see how those components are able to communicate with each other. And we will also see what @API property does in our Lightning Web component that we talked about yesterday. So to communicate, we have got two different ways. One is with the help of custom events that Salesforce does provide, and then we have got API property and API function. So that's what, if you see that in LWC, we have got kind of communication. One is parent to child and one is child to parent. So first thing we are going to cover child to parent, sorry, parent to child, and then we are going to cover child to parent. For parent to child, what we have is we have created a component called parent component, and inside that component we have got a child component. Now if we have some kind of properties here in the parent component, we wanted to send some value to our child component. How we can do that? We are changing some data, or we are clicking on a button or on a parent component. We wanted to send some information to the child component. We can achieve with the help of two things that we have got. Is one is API property and other one is API function. So how it works? This is our parent component. Inside parent component, we have got a child component. Let's say that we have a child component. I will let you know what all things are here that we are using. This is an HTML component of this is HTML file of our parent component, where we need to pass some message from our parent component to the child component with the help of API property. And this is our JavaScript file that we have got with API function. So without further delay, let's quickly create few components and then we will start working with our what demo we are to here. So this is the first component that we just created. I'm going to close this. What we will do is we will quickly create a component. We will quickly create one component and we will say that parent component here. So as we saw even earlier in yesterday's session, it is automatically creating a web component and getting us this skeleton. So we have got this parent component. Let's quickly create a child component as well. We will say that child epic source. I will create here. So what we will do is we will create a child component. Inside child component, we are going to create a public property. So you can see that we have got child component. To create a public property, we will discuss that we need to create a variable, and we will say that a message attribute that we are creating in the child component. And in our child component HTML file, we are just going to display that message. That's it. This is what we are going to do in the child component for now. Let's quickly deploy this component. And in the meanwhile, we can open our parent component. So we have got this parent component JavaScript file, and this is our HTML file. So to call a to call any component inside another component, what we have got is we just need to use C hyphen. C is a namespace. If you have got some different custom namespace inside your environment, you can use that. And after you will use C hyphen, and if you try to press Control space, you will see all the web components that are available here to you. You can use that. So this is what we are going to use, child fxr. So if you see the component that we created, child fxr, is child, and then we have got A as a capital. That's why here we are getting in hyphen and then A small, and then for H is capital for R's. That is what we are getting here, H as small and hyphen before that, to meet the web standards that we discussed today. Yesterday. And now we have got a property called message. If you type here, that property will be available. If you have not made that property as a public property, if you are trying to type, you will not be. If you are trying typing some few keywords of your variables, and then you are trying to get your attribute, you will not get here. So let's say that here I'm just passing here I'm from parent component. That's it, and you just need to close like this. You no need to use this. If you are trying to use this, you are going to get errors while deployment. Now we have got these two things. What I will do is I'll just quickly deploy this, and we have got C colon parent hours apex hours. And to preview this, we are going to use the application, a Lightning application that we created in our previous demo that we are going to use in our environment. So let's quickly get back to our environment. This is our Lightning environment where we were. We are going to remove this, and we are going to say that C colon parent apex hours. And if you save this, successfully saved, click on preview. So it's taking time. Yep. So you can see that we have got some, we are able to see the message not completely. So what we can do is we can put this inside a division tag, and we can use some styling that we did yesterday. So we can say the class So even if you get back to a browser, you can see that we are able to pass whatever the message we are passing from our parent component to the child component. Now, if you wanted to assign or associate with some kind of variables, let's say that we have some properties associated into our parent component. So we can create here some properties, like let's say that I'm creating a private property here, and I'm putting whatever the message I have got in child component. Whatever I'm passing here is I'm putting it here. And now to associate this, what we need to do is we need to say we have got a message attribute of child component. We wanted to pass, we wanted to associate with any attribute of our parent component. What we can see is we can find the attribute that we have got and just associate with that. So this is you can quickly associate with any properties that you have in your parent component. Now, if we have some kind of buttons available on our parent component, and based on the button click we are changing the parameter of this message. Let's see how the behavior will look like. So we have got lightning button, and let's say that we have label here, click me, and we are going to say value. On click, I'm just going to create a method here, handle click, that we saw yesterday as well. So here we have got handle click, and I'm just going to change the value here. I will say now we have got this. Let's deploy this parent component and see how it works. So as we know that this is a reactive property, whatever the value we are going to change, it is automatically going to change in this wherever we are using this parameter. And by using this parameter, we are associating this with the child component attribute that we have created here. And once it will be changing in the parent component, this from the JavaScript, it is going to reflect into our child component as well. So let's quickly get back to our browser, and if you try to refresh this, So you can see that now we are getting the message from a parent component, and if we click here, you can see that message has been quickly changed from whatever message we are providing in the JavaScript file of our parent component on the click of our JavaScript, sorry, on the click of our button. So this is the first way that you can communicate from the parent to the child. Now the other way, if you have, let's say that you are saying on the click of this button, you don't want to pass the variable in the child component and the child component attribute. You just want to call a method of your parent component. So what you can do is, for that we have got API function. So what we need to do is, inside child component we need to define a function saying that API function. So we can say that child component. I'm just putting the name here. You can put a meaningful name here, and if you try to pass some variables, you can say here name. I'm just trying to pass a variable here, and then trying to say here, and even I'm just trying to change the value of a message, whatever the name we are sending from our parent component. Now we have created this API function. Let's quickly deploy this, and in the meantime we will try to change in our parent component JavaScript file. As we are using here inside our parent component the HTML markup of our child component, what we need to do is, whenever we are working with Windows, we can say we have got some kind of window.document.get element by ID. For here, what we have is, we can say that this dot template. So we are saying that we wanted to refer only this component, and then we have got query selector to select a particular element inside our lightning component, and then we just need to put here whatever the child component syntax is. So what we are putting here is, we are just fetching this particular portion only, and then we are putting inside the single quotes of our query selector, and we are saying that doing this, what it is going to return is this complete child component. And then now we have got this child component JavaScript method inside our this is a method inside our child component. We wanted to call this, what we can do is dot child component, and we wanted to pass some message, because that this particular function receives accepts a parameter that we are passing here. Now how it actually looks like if you compare with Apex, let's say that we have got an um, we have got a class account controller, and we are just creating an object here, and then inside that account we have got a method, let's say that get accounts. This is what we are doing is, this particular portion is trying to create an object of our child component, and then this is calling a method of our child component. So let's quickly try to say here, we are not now we are not binding this. Even we can try to remove this message from our child component. Why we are doing this? As we are passing a single message inside our method, and that attribute is being displayed inside our child component. And we can also try to put some kind of some kind of alert message here to see if our component is being our method is being invoked or not. So let's quickly try to deploy this. And we will deploy the parent as well. So here we are successfully deployed our component. We can quickly get back here and refresh this page. Now, as of now, we are getting nothing here. If you click here, you can see message changed, whatever the message we are sending, and this alert message is there inside child component. And once we click OK here, we can see we have got message changed here. So this is how you can communicate from parent to child. Now, if you wanted to communicate from child to parent, that means if you wanted to send some data from your child component to the parent component, how you can do that? For that, we have got custom event that are inbuilt provided by standard web standards. We have got a new class saying that custom event. We have to dispatch that from the child component, and then we need to handle the event in the parent component. So how we can do that is we need to first dispatch an event from a child component that we discussed. To dispatch the event, we have got this syntax that we are going to discuss each and every element in details while we are developing this code. And then we need to handle, and how we can handle that, we will also see that. So I think we don't have anything to discuss here. So we are going to use these two components only. We have a child component here. Let's quickly put a button here inside child components. What we are going to do is we are going to just put a button here, and we will say that child component on click. We are going to say handle click. We have a method here on our inside our child component. On the click of this button, we are going to dispatch an event, and that event is going to handle by our parent component. So let's quickly create a method here. And to dispatch the event, what we have is, so this is the syntax for dispatching an event. How we can dispatch is, first thing that we have to do is create an object of custom event. This accept 2-3 parameters. First is the name of your event. So here you can see that I have got event, so I can say button click. And then here I have got detail. This is the detail is going to hold the key information, whatever you are trying to send from your child component. So let's say that I'm trying to send some kind of record IDs to my parent object, or I wanted to send some kind of secret message to my parent component, and by which we wanted to perform some kind of calculation based on our Apex classes or client-side JavaScript class. So detail is going to hold all the information that you wanted to send. And we can send multiple information here. That's why we are going to say here, we are going to say key, and inside key, we are going to say 001 and whatever the ID of an account I wanted to send. And let's say that I have got value. So let's say that we have got Apex hours. So what here we are trying to do is we are trying to send multiple values from our child component to our parent component. And why we are taking this example, because we might send a single value or we might send a multiple values. So in real time, most of the cases we have to send multiple values. That's why we are using here multiple values. And even if you wanted to send a single value, what you can do is, instead of putting like this detail colon and this a JSON object, if you see here, and if you try to structurize it is what it is, nothing, a JSON object. We have got a key and whatever the value for that key is, another key and the value for that key. If you don't want to use this value, you have got a simple ID, you can use like this. If you have a single value, just go with this syntax details and then send this. We have multiple values, we are going with this. And then we have got the syntax for dispatch event. This is the line that is saying that dispatch event, the existing method of web standards that is used to dispatch an event. If we are commenting this line and we are not using this particular line, our event is not going to be dispatched to our parent component. So for this, we just need to use this and then deploy the source to our org. And in the meantime, how to handle this event, let's just copy the name of our custom event We have got this, and go to our parent component. As you can see that we are using this component inside our parent component. What was the name of our event that we just created? Was button click. So before we see how we can handle it, if you see all the standard events that we have got on click, on can play, and we have got on double click, on scroll, on select, on volume change, these are all standard browser events provided by browsers to us. So what we can do is, as the name of our event is button click, we just need to put on before the name of our event, and we are good to handle our component in our inside our parent component. So as we have created the event name button click, we're just putting on button click, and we have to put we can say that handle event, a JavaScript class for our parent component. This is a method of our JavaScript class. So we just need to put here, and to get the event, we just need to pass a parameter called event here. You can change the name of your parameter. And why we are passing this parameter? To get what is the source for that event, which is actually responsible for calling this method. That's why we are putting event here. Now to get the values, let's say that we said here key. What we need to do is event dot, we have got a detail parameter here, that is detail. Sorry, this is also detail. I've got a detail here, and under that detail we have got key. So we are going to say the detail dot key, and then we wanted to get some other value. We have got here value, and this is also value because we wanted to get the value. Now if you wanted to change this, the value of this message attribute, what we can do is this dot message equal to this dot sorry, we have got key as a local variable, so we can say that key here, and we are going to say value. Now we are good to deploy this component as well. Okay, it is taking too much time to deploy. I think I'm going to cancel this. Let's try to deploy this component again. Now we're just going to deploy our parent component. So before we deploy this, I just wanted to make sure that the typo is correct, because I do a lot of typos. Trying to deploy my parent component into our environment so that we can see demo. Okay guys, so it took some time, but looks like we deployed this. So let's quickly get back to our browser console here, and we'll try to refresh. This time we should be able to see two different buttons here. One is for child component and another is for parent component. So let's quickly just click on this parent component first. We have got this message, whatever message we are sending from our parent component. And from the child component, what we just did. Okay, why we are not getting any output here? So the reason is that we are just using, we are concatenating whatever the output we are getting here, but we are not displaying this message anywhere in our parent component. That's why if you see that our parent component is completely blank, we are not using that variable inside our parent component. Even we did not try to put any kind of alert, so we'll just quickly use window.console.log, and we will see what we are getting here is. So I'm just trying to deploy this code, and in the meanwhile we will see what we have got inside in our PPT. So for the events, we have got two more attributes that we can use. Is one is bubbles, and that is true, and then one is composed, but these are pretty much advanced concepts, so we are not covering these as a part of this session. But you can have a look. We will share some links where you have got you will get the complete information about these two, when we should use, and what is the use of these two attributes while using the events. And before we go ahead, one thing that I would like to say is, Don't send any kind of s object records from this. Let's say that you have got a full contact record and you wanted to send as a detail here. There is no problem. You will not get any kind of issues. Even you will get the complete record inside your parent component controller method as well. But the thing is that those are read only. Again, if you wanted to modify those records, you will not be able to modify that. That's why we are just saying that Salesforce, as a best practice, says that just send only the primitive data types like ID, integer, or decimal, or double you wanted to send, or some kind of strings.